Monday morning coffee. Good morning. How are you today? I've got tons of things that I want to share with you. It's been uh, it's been a week which haven't been live. Actually, no, that's not true. But like the last Monday morning I did last week, it was. I feel that it is an eternity. It's a lifetime that's passed from last week to where I am right now. And I explained a little bit what happened that make me feel and think this way and say those comments. But it's been epic. That's the word. And if you follow me a little bit, you saw that I had a post yesterday, which I was explaining this. I was on my way back from the hotel, which, by the way, I stayed at the Four Seasons my last night over there, and it was so good. And a friend of mine, a very new friend, which I met at the training. And it's really funny because she said that she met me in November where I was facilitating at the Matrix and she was there. But like for some odd reason, maybe I was in my own mind, I was in my own head. And basically there's a lesson that I got taught there is like, you got to be present. But Catherine, she's just an amazing soul, always ready to help everybody, like really raise the bar to a total new level. And this is what we've been experiencing while we were at training. And I really have a feeling that there was a lifetime that passed from the moment I arrived and where I am right now. And as a matter of fact, when I arrived home and when my wife picked me up at the airport, she was like, you look different, you sound different, you smell different. And it's like, what the heck happened? And it was, it was epic, I tell you that. So I hope that you had a good weekend, that you really put yourself into a state where that you can create. And that's what we're going to talk about today. But I want to go away from this grind, and you've been programmed that it has to be hard if you want to succeed. It has to be difficult. You have to go through challenges and obstacles and all those things. But what if it's easy? What if everything you do, it's totally smooth and you're just moving? Like, I'm not saying that you're not going to encounter a challenge, but the challenge are exactly part of the process. But even the challenge makes it easier because all of a sudden you are in a harmony with where you want to be and what you want to do. So what if it was easy? What if everything you touch turned into gold? And as we were, I'm going to jump right from one subject to the other because like there's so much happening in my mind right now. And that was really good yesterday. That was the shortest flight I had in my life. Yet, from the moment I left to the moment I arrived, I think there's like something like 10 hours. It was the shortest flight of my life. I was working. I was in spirit. I was like really connected to what I needed to do and where I need to bring my business and how I can be more of service to my clients and to you, right? The people which are following me. So it was the shortest flight of my life. And I just wrote, and I was into this amazing space, which, by the way, if you're flying, you fly first class, business class, first class, whatever you want to call it. Depends on the airline, but there's no other way to fly. Now you're going to tell me, yeah, but Mark, it costs a lot of money. Or what you have to understand is you need to be expecting receiving. If you want to live this life, you need to expect that you're going to have a lot coming to you. And by thinking that you don't have the money, that's going to cost too much, then you're thinking lack. You're not thinking abundance. You're not thinking that you will earn that money. That money is going to come back. So I really recommend you to really change that mindset. Otherwise, you're going to continue living the same life that you're having right now. And my question to you is it what you want? Number one. Number two is, what do you want to believe? Because what Catherine shared with us and what she really pound all week long, she was saying, if you believe it, it's true. Now, we all have been told that we are creator, we are God's highest form of creation, we are infinite potential, and blah, blah, blah. So that goes in direct line with this sentence. If you believe it, it's true. So what do you believe in? What brought you where you are right now won't bring you where you want to go. Would you agree with that? Because where you are right now is the result of the way you were thinking in the past. But where you are right now, it won't bring you to where you want to go. So there's a shift there into your belief system that needs to happen if you want to really embrace that rich life, if really you want to earn a lot of money, if you really want to live the way you want to live. Make sense? And there's a lot of people that come to me and it's like, yeah, but Marc, you don't understand. You don't understand. Like, I don't have money and it's not working. It's like, stop thinking this way. You're already here. Are you having an attitude of gratitude for where you are? Because everything that you've done so far brought you here. Oh, that was good. So I was on my way to, I need to tell you this story. This is a really good story. So I made the decision. Okay, I'm gonna go to the Four Seasons, and as we were there, and then she was going to the Four Seasons, and she was going with another friend, another consultant, and then like she's like, so are you coming? I'm like, well, and then she challenged me, and then she used my goal to challenge me. She's like, if you're thinking you're gonna do that, is this person would hesitate of making that shift? It's like, yeah, but I need to go to my room and I need to pack and I'm not ready. This is the paradigm talking. This is like all this old limiting beliefs that was behind my head and was behind my ear, and it was just like, yeah, but it's just one night, and actually it's not even one night, and then you have to fly out at 6 a.m, and like, what? It's like, is the person that you want to become would think this way? And I was like, no, it wouldn't. So it took me a while to start. Actually, it took me about an hour to finally say to the paradigm, fuck off. I'm going to do what I want to do. And so I went to my room and then I started working on it. Started packing. And as I was packing, all of a sudden I started feeling better because I was walking toward the life that I really want to have. So I finished packing, and then like the girls sent me a picture of them having like a Dom Perignon rosé, right? So they just like send me a picture of that, and I'm like, okay, I'm going, right? So I'm taking my application, and then I booked the Four Seasons, I booked the room, and as soon as I pressed booked, I mean, it was surreal. It's like I passed to another world. It's like, okay, now let's start moving. Now let's start going where you want to go. So that was the first step. So I pick my stuff and then I go down, which Catherine says, no, you don't bring your stuff. Now you call the valet and then they come and pick it up for you, right? If the person that you want to become is like that, why would you bring your own stuff? So then you start thinking, it's just like, geez. Because you need to act the way you want to be already. You need to act in a certain way if this is the experience that you want to live. Because you're not going to get into that experience unless and until you start living this way in your own mind. And I'm going to read you a little bit something about it, which is very, very powerful. So I'm going down, and then I check out. Now, remember, I didn't tell you that, but I just did a reservation because for some odd reason, I was missing one night. So I did a reservation and it was already paid. So I like, you know what? Let's forget about this. I'm just going to go. Like, whatever. So I check out, and then I'm going to the lobby, and then I'm trying to book a Uber. And then I want to have like, a nice car. I'm going to go to the Four Seasons. I want to like be in a nice ride, right? Don't want to arrive there like into a Hyundai. Nothing wrong with the Hyundai. Like everything I'm saying, there's no judgment. But that is not the person I want to be. It wouldn't arrive this way, right? So I'm trying to get there with a nice car, and then there's no nice ride, like none. I'm like, I never see that with Uber. So I'm like, so then I'm trying, and then I'm pressing the button still, and then like, you see the Uber sign, and then like it kind of pound and just look for a ride, and there's no ride. So I'm like, so I'm gonna have like to take a cheap car to get there. Okay, like whatever, that's what spirit is telling me. This is what God tells me. This is what the universe is sending to me. So accept it. Say thank you. Let's do it. So I'm booked my car. Guess what? It's a BMW that arrived. And not only that, but the gentleman in the car, I think that it was designed to be because I had a message for him. So he was trying to talk to me, and I was not really listening because like, I was working on my phone and was like try to align everything and talking with my team and so on. So finally, when I'm done with this, I'm paying attention to him. And then he tells me that, he's from Iran, and he just arrived 6 months ago, and he doesn't really speak English. He learned to speak English about a month ago, and then he's trying to develop his English by doing Uber and get better, so then he can build his business and etc. etc. And like, I mean, as the conversation advanced, then like, he started like complaining, in my country, blah, 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 in my country, blah, 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 the United States this, the United States that. It's just like, whoa, wait a second. I mean, you're just complaining. That's like, can I be honest with you? It's like, you just complaining, like you're whining all the time. Be grateful. You tell that like the United States did sanction over Iran, and you were fortunate enough to be able like to pay and get out of the country and start a new life in Canada. So why are you not grateful for that? Like, how's your friends back home? Like, what's happening to them? What if you would still be there? Would you have the same lifestyle that you used to have? Would you have the same business that you used to have? And then he's like, no. It's like, my friend, there's some that are in really precarious situation. That's just, there you go. So why are you not grateful and have gratitude for where you are right now and start building on that? And then I see him like just shifting like this. I mean, on the spot, his entire energy shifted. Then he started telling me that, that's the first time that he can have a conversation in English with someone, and that like I brought like a good message to him, and he started seeing something. And then I gave him an exercise and then told him, I charge a lot of money for people to work with me. So see this as a sign that your prayer have been answered. And again, like, don't take this the wrong way. I was just a messenger. Like, the only thing I did is I let it channel to and through me, and he received it. But you should have seen his face. I mean, that alone was worth it. That check out from my hotel and check in for the other hotel and whatever money I spent, because I helped someone. And this is truly, like, this is part of my mission. Like, I want to inspire people one person at a time. and that is the way you're doing it. It's not by like, staying into your quarters that you're going to inspire people. You got to take action, and sometimes like it's going to cost you something. But if you live this way, if you live the abundant life, and if you think that it's easy, it's going to be easy. That is a choice. You decide how you want to live. So that is what happened there. And this felt like, just filled me with such an enormous feeling of joy and gratitude. And when I arrived and saw the girls there, like, first of all, like, Catherine, like, so I'm contacting her, and then she's like, yeah, we had the D bar, and just come when you arrive, let me know. And I was already in my room. I was already checked in, and I already put my stuff there. And then she said, okay, I'm here. And she said, okay, I'm coming in. It's like, where are you? I was like, I'm in my room. She's like, what do you mean? You checked in? I said, yeah, I told you I'm coming. Oh, she's like, oh, I thought that you were just like coming for dinner. I said, no, I said I'm coming, I'm there, So like, I arrived, and the feel was like so different. And why the feel was so different? Why did I feel this way? It's because I put myself on the hook. I took a decision, and I invested in the person I want to be. And there was a lot of lessons into this, which I can tell you what it is, but it's really like into the feeling of what was happening. That was all the whole difference of the experience. So it was just like amazing. And then we had like a nice dinner, met a new person, which one of the consultants which was there, like, which her name is Catherine as well. She brought a friend of hers, which her name is Hillary. And so I met someone new, and we just had beautiful conversations. So when we finish with dinner, we go to the room, which Catherine, the consultant, like the one which inspired all of us, was like, yeah, I manifested an upgrade. And this upgrade, I mean, this is just ridiculous. I mean, she wanted to have a room at the Four Seasons, which is a corner suite. It's just really nice. And, it's 4 figures a night. She was like, I stayed in that room. I want to stay in another room. And I want to stay like to a better room, which that one is a little bit more expensive. But it was not available. So she's like, no, I want this room. I manifested it. So I just need to listen. So she think she's going to go to booking.com, and then she find the room in booking.com. So she goes to the front desk, and she's like, the room is there on booking.com. I mean, why is it not available for you? Like, yeah, it's like, it's the room that they have, and la la la. I say, okay, so if I book that room and it's not available, so what do you do? And then the front desk guy go to his manager, and because she stayed there before, I mean, they know her, because actually they gave her the very same room she was last time. So the manager is like, yes, miss, I understand, you're right, so let me see what I can do. So it's like, okay, so we're going to give you this room, which basically it's the royal presidential suite. And by the way, this is where all people, like, if there's a concert, Lady Gaga, that's sure that she would stay there. Michelle Obama was there last week, for sure she would stay there. So all of those very, very influential people, that's the type of room they stay in. So she got that room for the price of the other room that she wanted. And the manager said, would it be okay with you? I was like, I think we'll be fine. But we haven't seen the room yet, right? So we go to the room, and then we see that. I was just laughing. And you can see I did a video on it. We're just having a blast. That was so much fun. So, like, of course, she ordered more champagne and dessert, and then we were just sitting there and just talking about life and how that we can manifest all this, and how can we live and impress upon ourselves this type of feeling and energy. Because if you want to live this life, you got to experience it first in your mind and then physically. And by the way, you don't have to book a room at $12,000 in order to live that. Okay, you can go into a real estate agency, into a showroom, an open house, and experience that this way. That is a way without spending money. Maybe you have to spend money to drive to a certain place to do that and to see that, but that is the way you're going to do it. This is the way you're going to start impressing those pictures on your subconscious mind, which, by the way, this is where that you get connected to infinite intelligence, God, the universe, whatever you want to call it. But that's the way you're going to connect to that. But you need to see that picture, and you need to have the feeling of how it's going to feel to live this way. And that part is so, so, so important. And you need to go there. You need to go there as many times as you can. You need to envision this. You need to see it. You need to feel it. You need to be in there day in, day out. I mean, as a matter of fact, you should think about those things all the time. All the time. And if you do so, everything's going to shift. So I wanted to read something to you. Then after, I'm going to go and going to answer some questions and see there's a bunch of comments there. But there's some very, very good things. If you don't know this book, which, by the way, this is one of the version from The Science of Getting Rich from Wattles D. Wattles. You're not going to find this one, because this is an old version, I think 1972, 1974, which I had the chance to put my hand on, and I was really, really excited. But I started reading this with my reading partners, which now, like, I have 1976. I have 3 reading partners. So I'm having a couple groups where that we are reading the same thing for the next 90 days. By the way, this is the best way of really entering into the spirit of the author. What does that mean? What do I mean by that? If you've been writing books, you're going to know that you don't write a book within a day. It's going to take you months, maybe even years. So I think it's an absolute disgrace to an author to read a book once, because the author spent months and years into developing and getting into the material and share this with you. So having the arrogance that you're going to read the book once and you're going to get what the author is saying, it's insanity. I mean, I'm just shocked that, and by the way, I mean, I know that this is the way we are programmed, but I'm shocked. I'm shocked that we even think this way, right? If someone spent a lot of time creating something, I think we should try to get really into the spirit of what that author or that person, like all the work they put in, and we should try to understand from their standpoint and read and read and read again. So this 90 days challenge, I really recommend you to get involved into this. First of all, it's so much fun. I really like to do that. And now, like, it seems that I'm inspiring a little bit more people to start doing this. And by the way, I didn't design this. This is Bob that said that. Says you should read something for 30 or 90 days. So then you can truly start understanding and getting it, right? And you cannot say, oh, I got it. When you say this, because the world is always advancing and your mind always expand, you're going to realize that your awareness, it keeps growing, it keeps getting bigger and bigger, and you keep understanding things differently. I mean, I read this, which, I mean, I'm reading this book since 2013, like in a form of an audio first, and then like reading it. So it's not new. I know the material. I mean, that's 6 years I'm reading the same book, right? But I understood this totally differently in the past couple days. So do yourself a favor and start reading things to really read to understand, right? Read to understand, not read to read. It's like, oh, I got it, and then you throw the book in the shell. Actually, that was funny because Catherine said she went to one seminar, and then she bought all the books, and then she thought that just by buying the book, looking at them, and putting them into the shelves, she got it, right? And it's so funny, and now it's a kind of a running joke. So I bought the book, so I got it. But it's just beautiful to see, like, you know, the comprehension that you're gonna get by reading and by rereading again. So I'm gonna go to chapter 4, which basically is the first principle of how you're gonna get rich, how you're gonna create financial success. Okay. Now, from what I will read, it's gonna look very obvious to you, and you might even think it's nothing new here. You already know all this. I'm not gonna say something that is new, but your awareness is not there yet. You haven't developed the awareness to really comprehend and land the information and really like start applying it. So this is the reason why we're reading and reading and reading again. And what I do is, like, now when I read, I'm like underlying, like every time I see something, I'm underlying it. And basically I look at it like as when I was in school. Actually, no, let's backtrack, because every time I say this, I'm getting into a place where I didn't really necessarily like that when so no, it's my new way of studying. This is the way I'm studying now. This is the way that I'm reading now, and I really love to read this way. So into the first principle, he says the stuff from which all things are made is a substance which thinks. Now think about it. The stuff from all things are made is a substance which thinks. What does that mean? I take this as a way of saying, like, the creation, the creative force which are there, thinks. So when you start understanding that, like, if you are putting yourself in harmony with that, this is truly when that you can start creating the right way, right? We live in a thought world. So the world you live in, it's breeding. It's a breeding world. Like, if you look at the plant is alive. The non-physical, like this air, like this thing that we cannot grab, you know, this is energy, and it's alive. And that thing thinks, as what we heard earlier, right? And then he says this: a human being is a thinking center and can originate thought. All the form that a person fashions with his hand must first emerge from his thought. He cannot shape a thing until he has thought that thing. So all the creation, and I see Declan is on the call right now, and Declan, which is great soul, another consultant, part of the inner circle, a good friend. He was thinking about the house that he wanted to build, and now that house is taking form. But he had to think it first. And against all odds, everything started to get into form. But he put himself in harmony with the thinking substance, which thinks, and answered back. And this is so freaking deep. This is so freaking like out there that some of you is gonna say this is freaking nonsense. I don't want to believe that, and I don't care, honestly. And I'm not saying this with arrogance or anything like that. It doesn't matter what you believe. That is so. And he said at the end of this, it says, "Do not ask why these things are true, nor speculate as to how they can be true. Simply take them on trust. The science of getting rich begins with the absolute acceptance of this fate." So, my question to you would be this one: how's your results right now? And the answer will tell you exactly what you should think. If your results are great, then keep doing what you're doing. If your results are not good, then I would recommend to start looking at other ways to do what you've been doing, because your way doesn't work. So why don't you try mine? Right? So there's a lot of stuff, and I'm not going to bore you like by reading for half an hour, but that is what I wanted to share about that. But we live in a thinking world. There's a thinking substance from which all things are made, in which, in its original state, permeates, penetrates, and fills the interspace of the universe. A thought in this substance produces things that is imaged by the thought. You can form things in your thought, and by impressing your thought upon formless substance can cause the thing you think about to be created. That is the syllabus from this book, and it's so powerful. So let me get into questions and let you talk and share. And by the way, if you want to get involved into this call, I want you to ask me a question. Don't say just hi, because what we're doing, and you can say hi, but you say hi to the people which is on the call with you. Okay, I see it and I acknowledge it and thank you. But if we want to keep the flow of this, I want you to ask questions, so then you can help me to bring us together. Now, if you have a question, now you have to believe that everybody has the same question, because there's only one mind. There's billions of expression of that mind, but there's one mind. So if you have that question, someone else has the same question. Okay, so it's always good to get together and co-create, basically. So let me go and see, and there's a bunch of people that came in and out. Thank you for spending time with me for an hour, maybe like for 2 minutes, maybe like you just come in, just, oh shit, the same shit, I don't want to hear this, and then you just move. Well, you're not on the same frequency, and when we're not a match, well, you don't want to hear it. It's like if you're going and you try to find a good radio station, and then you fall on country. I hate country, can't stand it, can't. So I'm gonna move on. Why? Because that frequency do not match with mine. It's the same thing with this, right? So who has some question? Next level, brother. You better believe it. No question? Nothing you want to share? Nothing you would like me to address and talk about? And if not, then we're just gonna wrap it up and go to our week. I hope that you're gonna have a beautiful week. Oh, by the way, if you are a consultant, I'm gonna start a little group. Probably it's gonna be on Tuesday morning. I'm thinking about 10 a.m. Eastern time. Now, consultant only, okay? You're going to have to answer some question to have the link. So if you're not a consultant, not going to work. But I want to help you out. And that's going to be like to bring you into inner circle. Okay. So it's going to be work. Don't come here if you just, I mean, you can come. I don't care. But I really want you to take this seriously and get to the next level. So I'm gonna give you like some tip, because there's a lot of consultants that came to me and says, okay, Marc, I really want you to help me. I really want to mentor me. I don't have enough time to help everybody. Okay. So I decided I'm gonna do one to many, and then this way I'm gonna help you to get to where you want to go. But like you're gonna need commitment. If you're not committed to this, you're not gonna get it, and you're not gonna do it, right? So it all starts with you. But I'm gonna do a call once a week to help you to get to inner circle. Sounds good? So how long have you been studying with Bob? I've been studying with Bob since 2013. You say you should read like one chapter, one paragraph for 90 days, but at the pace we would read like a book per year. And there's so much information, so many books. No, that doesn't mean that you're not reading other books. Like what I do, like for example, the Science of Getting Rich, I'm reading 4 chapters every day. And that's chapter that have been recommended by Bob. So chapter 4, 7, 11, and 14. So I read those 4 chapters, take about like 30, 40 minutes, depending on how I study, if I underline, if I like oversee like some of the things, because sometimes I read the same thing like 2, 3 times, because I just want to make sure that I get it and understand it, and I'm connected with it. That doesn't mean you cannot read other books. You can read books like for fun, right? You can read books which are more for pleasure, right? But I realize I don't do this anymore. I don't know why. I'm like, maybe because I'm not into that. Like I really want to read. Like I really want to read to understand. And that's a shift, by the way. And as I'm reading this, I was reading Thomas Troward, Entering into the Spirit of It, yesterday. Totally got something different. I mean, totally new. And I read it like with my wife last night, and I was explaining like what I got out of it, and she was like, whoa. I mean, it's another level. And I'm not shitting you when I say that. Like last Monday and this Monday, I have a feeling that there's a lifetime that passed. And that's what quantum leap is when that the jump that you've made is so powerful. There's so much that happened. I experienced in the past week more than some people will experience in a year, in a life, actually. And I'm not kidding you. It was epic. So, and you're doing this because you're studying, because like you're pushing yourself, because you're making decisions which you never made before. You're moving to places which you never moved before. And that's how that you're going to create those quantum leaps. Make sense? I hope that answered your question, Alfredo. All right. Z, she's saying, I'm having a question in my heart about this creative process. If we see and feel it, it happens. The times it then means I did not have enough faith. Very true. You did not have enough faith, but faith is built upon gratitude. So probably you were not in a state of, you did not have a grateful mind and a grateful heart. So your faith was not strong enough to create and manifest what you wanted. Now, remember that sometimes you're manifesting things, and everything that's happening, it's absolutely necessary for you to experience the growth and to get to the next level. So don't beat yourself up. And this is something that I see over and over again, is people are experiencing things and they don't like the results, and now they're beating themselves up. Don't beat yourself up. Observe, be grateful that this is happening, and say, that's not what I want. But you always have to do this in a grateful heart. If you're not grateful, what's going to happen is that you are cutting yourself from the source of supply. You're cutting yourself from infinite intelligence. You're cutting yourself from the thinking stuff. Okay? So the only way he's going to acknowledge you, and when I say he, call it whatever you want, but the only way you will be acknowledged, it's only if you have that grateful attitude. And I think Catherine is amazing. I mean, if you would see like the comment that she gave me, and I'm like, no, but you're the star. And then she said, no, you're the star. Like, you inspire me as much that you said I inspired you. And I'm like, oh my God, this is so beautiful. Like, all of you, your questions and being here for 40 minutes, you inspire me. This is the reason why I'm here. Right? If there wouldn't be nobody, I would still do it, by the way, because I develop a habit of when I decide to do something, I'll just do it. But I would still be like, you are inspiring me even more because you're there. So I'm so grateful for every single one of you. Make sense? Dina, she's saying, how to tell the difference between if my goal is just a hobby or my main purpose, and what I should do as a full-time thing. Well, we would have to go deeper in this, Dina. A purpose is what gets you out of bed in the morning. Like, I'm very clear about my purpose. I really know what I want to do. My goal, the goal is what drives you. Right? The purpose gets you out of bed. Then you have the vision, and then the goal is what drives you. It's what makes you take action today. A hobby, well, you do it when it's convenient. That's what a hobby is. A goal, you are taking action. But remember, you need to do all this in spirit. Okay, this is the part that most people are missing out. Is if you don't do the things in spirit, it's pointless. You're wasting your time. You're wasting energy. Like the grind that Gary Vee is talking about all the time, this is not the way it should be. That's exactly the title today. What if it was easy? And it is easy, by the way. It is easy. Oh, Mark, it's easy for you to say. Yeah, I know. But I am now at the point where that I realize by experience that it is easy. Is my paradigm come and just kick the shit out of me? Yeah, it does. It happened like 2 days ago. But I'm not let my paradigm control my action. And that is what you need to learn to do. I hope this is helping. Steve, what was your biggest lesson from Catherine? Believe it, and it's true. If you believe it, it's true. What helped you to level up your awareness? Study. Study, study, study. You need to study every day. You need to get yourself into the spirit of it. And how you do that? You meditate, you study, you challenge yourself, you read the same thing, you try to understand, you try to bring your awareness to another level. Like, why do I understand something different? It's because I've been repeating it and I've been challenging my current belief system. So I can get new input, right? I can get new thought. So that is what I would recommend. So there's some people that say, I want to join. Yes, well, I'll put like my link, my email. I want you to write me an email. It's going to be like some question that you need to answer, and you're going to get a link. Okay. You are awesome, Mark. You're awesome too. Que buena noticia. Sí, claro. Oh, by the way, I want to say, like, to people which are speaking Spanish, hoy es cayó el 20, oh, like, which basically that's an expression to say like, I got it, but as I'm getting it. But today is the 20th at the same time, so it's kind of a funny joke. which is not really funny, but that's all right. I can do whatever I want, right? Because I want to. Kenneth is saying, what's a good way to change a negative frequency into a positive frequency? Just decide to do so. Like if you're into a negative frequency, that is, it makes you realize that that is something you don't want. So what is the polar opposite of that? Right? So when you are into a negative state, don't stay there. When you're into a negative state, don't stay there. Decide to, okay, so this is what I don't want. I thank you, or I think I'm grateful that I realized that this is something I don't want. And then put your attention only on what you want. And you're going to change like that. That is how you're changing your frequency. Very, very simple and very powerful. All right? Norma, it's 4, 7, 11, and 14. Why those chapters? I asked the same question to Bob. 4 is the first principle, right? Which basically tells you how to think. It tells you that we live in a thought world, in an energetic world. 7 is gratitude, and you need to live in a state of gratitude. 11 is acting in a certain way, which basically you are utilizing the law of cause and effect, which, by the way, Emerson said this is the law of laws. Why? Because there's, and by the way, it goes with gratitude. So 7 and 11, 7-11, that's my daughter. 7 and 11, those two are extremely important because they go together. Gratitude, it's actually, they said the law of gratitude. I'm going to read this because this is important, and I like that you brought that up. And you see how beautiful everything is, how perfect everything is. The law of gratitude is the natural principle that action and reaction are always equal in an opposite direction. So if I have gratitude, so I'm putting gratitude out, the law of cause and effect. So the cause is I'm putting gratitude out. The reaction from formless substance need to be brought to me, equal and in opposite direction. So I'm putting this out, this direction, right? This direction. It has to be equal in opposite toward me. That is why gratitude is so powerful. This is why gratitude is a creative state. And it cannot be any other way. So that is the reason for 11 acting in a certain way. And 14, not 13, 14. 14 is leaving everybody with the impression of increase. And that is the way that you're ensuring yourself that you always have clients. So right now you're here and you're feeling good. And it might be just like, a feel-good thing for you. But the fact that you're feeling this way, the fact that I'm helping you feeling you this way, what I'm doing is I'm sending good out, right? I'm creating an impression increase upon you. So you will send this same energy back. That is the way that's the way it works. Make sense? But leaving everybody with the impression of increase, that is something that you should have as a reminder. You want to make sure that everybody you're touching, they're feeling better because they met you. That's the way you will never lack business. Which, by the way, you guys, like you're thinking about inner circle. Make sure every person, every conversation, every contact you're having with someone, you are planting a seed. And that seed will germinate. That seed will grow. I love the story of the Chinese bamboo, right? You plant the seed in the ground, and for 4 years, nothing happened. Nothing. Like no appearances of something is growing. But the 5th year, that seed finally break the ground and grow 90 feet, 30 meters in 6 weeks. Well, That is the gestation period, which, by the way, it's a law. It's a law of gender that we call. All right. I only read books that teach me more in what we're studying. Everything else is a distraction. Now, that doesn't mean that you cannot have fun. Okay, so just because there's some people who say, "Oh, Mark, like you do whatever you want." Like my best friend is reading only novels, loves it. I mean, read millions of them. Yeah, he's probably reading about 30 a year. No, not true. No, about 12 a year. But like that's his choice. Whatever. Like I love to read something that is inspiring me and make me think. That's my choice. Uh, Good. I'm having multiple goals. How do you work on manifesting more than one thing without losing focus on getting overwhelmed? Dina, you need to be studying. You need to be studying, and you need to be like really aligning yourself. Maybe you should write me a DM, and we should get on a call and talk about something. All right, Z Susan, thank you for the time you share with us. It really helps me, and I look forward on Monday morning. Me too, by the way. I really look forward for Monday morning. I love this thing. I'm so very proud of you, my friend, doing what you love. Yes, Lisa, that's the only way to live. You got to do what you love. And by the way, every single one of you, which is here right now, have the same power and the same possibility. What is holding you back, by the way, is what you think you're not. Ooh, now I might have touched like some point now. What's holding you back is what you think you're not. Yes, that is so helpful. I'm thankful that for what I don't want. Now moving to the positive vibration. Exactly. Gabby Paz from La Paz. Can I be in a positive frequency with everybody, but in negative with just one person? Why you want to be in the negative with one person? Can it be? I felt that. Obviously, I want to change it. Yeah, I mean, for sure. Like there are some people you're not on the same frequency. Like what's gonna happen, and this is one thing which we have to learn to get away from, is when you are into a clashing frequency, you need to just detach yourself from that, and you need to go away from those type of people. Um, if the frequency is not right, I just go away from people. That's it. Like I'm feeling it. Like the thing is, we are not aware, and we are not listening to our frequency. We are not listening to what we're sensing. But if you are sensing that like this is not a match, that's not a frequency match, or just move away. Go to where you feel good, right? Like listen to yourself. You know it all already. You know the people that you want to spend time with. You know the people you don't want to spend time with. And you know the people that like it feels it's clashing. I'm not connecting. Move away. That's it. Very simple. All right. I think that we have done. Um, we have done what we wanted to do. Thank you so much for tuning in. I really wish you a spectacular week. Make it count, guys. Like the only thing that you never get back is time, right? So you manage the activities that you want to manage, and you're utilizing the time you have and use it wisely. So you want to spend time with people which are empowering you, which makes you feel good, makes you feel good about yourself. And if you do so, your life's going to be an absolute blessing. Thank you so much for being here. I'm truly grateful for who you are. And I'll see you next Monday. Peace out.